Hello and welcome to the Wad Fam Jock Pod. I'm Dylan Weaver.
And I'm Andrew Sabo.
And this week, for Christmas, we've got a special episode here with a special guest. It's our good friend...
Breanna Beers.
Hey! Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
You gonna do Christmas music the whole time, Andrew?
Only if it's slightly racially insensitive.
Is that one slightly racially insensitive?
No, not that one, but there's
Christmas music is racially insensitive?
Well, I'm sure we can come up with some if we really look. But no, I was thinking about the music that's playing behind Grandma when she's talking about, like, her Mexican traditions, where I'm like,
Oh, I fully did not clock this.
Well, I only clocked it on the re-listen, so those are the special insights you guys get to look forward to.
Okay, back to our guest.
Hi.
Hi, Breanna. Welcome to the show. So we asked you to be on this episode. It's a Christmas episode. I don't know. What's your history with Odyssey? Like, how did we get here?
How did we get here? That's a great question. Growing up, we had a CD that I have no idea where it came from. I don't know if my parents bought it or if it was a gift or where it came from, but we had like
a single CD?
No, we had 4 CDs, but they were in one album.
Uh-huh.
Cool. It was, I remember 4 very specific episodes. It was the 2-part Christmas imagination station where Connie and Eugene go back in time.
Back to Bethlehem.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Good Christmas episode, but not covered today.
Nope. It was Waylaid in the Windy City, which you have covered.
Yes. Yep.
And then I looked up beforehand because I couldn't remember the name of the other one, but it was Melanie's Diary.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I do remember that one.
Yeah, those were the 4.
That's a good era of the show. I feel like to get any random album, like, you did all right for yourself.
Yeah, it was nice.
You could have ended up with The Ties That Bind or something.
I mean, probably not, but maybe.
Not, yeah, it's if you got really into it in 2014.
So was that you have no idea how you wound up with that CD? It was just there?
Yeah, no clue. It just was there. Much like most of the CDs in my house, honestly.
Okay.
That, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
And what context did you listen to it in?
Like, just listen to it.
By yourself on a CD player, with the family, in a car?
Yeah.
Like...
By myself or with, like, my sister who I shared a room with.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had, like, a nice pink and white boombox that we
there you go.
It was good. It could do tape cassettes and CDs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
I know
incredible.
the kind.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Good memories of the show?
Yeah, I would say so. We listened to them, like, a lot because they were the only ones we had.
Okay.
Sure.
It was, like, the only, like, and it wasn't even, like... we had no other like audio drama or any like kind of context for that. Maybe that's why I like podcasts now is just listening to those Odyssey CDs over and over.
I mean, look, that's often been my take.
Kind of the premise of the show.
Sure.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
You fit right in.
Oh, well, that's fun.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was just one album makes it even better. Because, like, I know, like, if you guys listen to it all the time, how easy would it have been for your parents to just, like, go to Lifeway Books and get another one?
Right.
Or rent it from the church library.
Borrow even.
Borrow, yes. Definitely not take.
Every once in a while, I see them on the shelves at the school libraries, at the, like, elementary schools I work at. And that is a weird experience.
Yeah. That's surprising.
Like, mixed in with with books on CD, there's occasional random episodes of Adventures in Odyssey. And it is always... I always clock them immediately because I would recognize them anywhere. And then it's like... Why is this on the shelf at a public school?
How?
That's bizarre.
Do they know?
They have to just be donated.
Right, I assume somebody has
be...
donated them. Because also, it is 2022, almost 2023, who is checking out a CD at an elementary school library?
Yeah.
Is that even an option?
No.
I don't think I could get CDs when I was in elementary school. Like, I think it was books or nothing at the school library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At, public library you could get a couple CDs. You get books on tape, and you could get, like, when I started, VHSs, eventually DVDs.
Yeah.
Old enough. Yeah.
I didn't go to the library consistently enough in, like, my high school years to, like, really take advantage of it, but, like, my dad would always rent tons of movies from the library. And half the time he wouldn't watch them. It was great. It's so much fun. And some of them we kept. So now you know where that came from.
Great. The episode we're talking about today is Grandma's Christmas Vacation. It's one of the... There are so many Christmas episodes of Odyssey in my mind that I was surprised at how few there were left for us to cover. Like, this episode's fine, but I did kind of feel like I was scraping the bottom of the barrel. But the deal is, it first aired December 18th of 2010. And yeah, it was off of album 52, which is the second one after, like, the soft reboot. So we've got new Odyssey, new John Avery Whittaker, new characters in general. And it is written by 3 people, which I don't know if we've ever run into before, or maybe we have, like, once.
Yeah, but it was probably for, like,
Kirby
a split
Atkins,
episode.
Dave Arnold, and Paul McCusker all have writing credits on this one. And Paul McCusker directed it then. Which just, yeah, I don't know. Feels like a lot of people in the room for what's ultimately, like, not that, like, impactful an episode.
No. But they really, I mean, and this is my thing with this episode, is I can't tell if they like going over the top for Christmas and just doing a bunch of stuff and saying that, like, that's how we should celebrate it, or they're, like, taking it down. Like, I can't quite understand where focus has landed on this.
You're saying, should we be leaning into the busyness or away from it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the point isn't very clearly made here.
Right. I think the point ultimately ends up being some people should lean into it and others shouldn't.
Sure. That was something that I liked about it, though.
Yeah,
like, on the
yeah.
first listen, I was, like, really expecting it to be, like, one of these, like, oh, Christmas is too busy. We need to just, like, all take a step back, which is, like, fine. You know, that's fine.
We like a good meditative Christmas season.
Yeah. But,
nice.
like, I kind of loved that by the end they were like, oh, it's fine to do fun things.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is good. Do your fun things. And
like,
also, like, if you need to chill. It's all good. Do whatever you want.
It's all good.
Yeah, I was like, that's nice. I appreciate it.
I
Surprising
appreciate-
nuance.
Yeah. A little bit of complexity here.
No way.
Actually, there's a decent amount of complexity in this episode that I did not predict going into it.
I can't decide if this episode is nuanced or just doesn't feel like making any choices.
Sure. Yes, also that.
Let me introduce you to the bisexual population.
Nuanced or just not interested in making choices?
Yeah.
Okay. News to me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really want to hit off the top here. I guess.
I have a question, Dylan.
Okay.
And it's for Breanna.
Oh, darn. I was really
you-
hoping this was for me.
Did you notice that wit's different than the wit that you listened
Yes.
to? Okay,
Yes.
was that like
that
an
was like
immediate-
it very
okay.
quickly was like I was like, huh, this
Was
feels
it
wrong.
repulsive?
Yeah, and I was surprised because I wasn't expecting to really like have a ton. Is Connie different too?
No.
Nope.
Okay,
Connie's
Connie's the same. I was like, I can't tell. Eugene's definitely the same.
Yep. Yep. Wow. What is that attitude?
I don't know. I was like, as soon as he started talking, I was like, I know who this is.
Yeah. It's Petrie.
Yeah, when Wit was talking at first, I was like, I don't know. I just was not the Wit that I remembered.
No, of course. It's actually the voice of the newest owl in Winnie the Pooh. In like the 2011 movie.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
same
fun.
guy. Yeah, you can thank Dylan for that one. I think he
Thanks,
told
Dylan.
me originally.
Yeah. I cast him as Owl. So you can thank me for that.
Yep.
In 2011, I was big time casting agent.
Well, you knew I was so excited to see the movie, and I was kind of holding on to the last grips of my childhood wonder, so you really pulled some strings, and I appreciate it.
It sounds like this man is like making a career of like taking nostalgic characters and then
Ruining
just yeah, being like, I'm not trying to like disparage, but like when you're filling big shoes, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm not trying to parage, if you know, if you catch my drift.
Wait, you're not trying to parage?
Yeah, as opposed to I'm not trying to disparage. I'm not trying to parage either.
I'm over here trying to be nice. Andrew's over here like,
I'm not trying to be nice.
Andrew didn't come to make friends.
Not with Andrei Stoica. He's my mortal enemy.
Oh, wow. That's
Rivals.
strong. But yeah, so the Back to Bethlehem, like that era of album that you were listening to, or episode you were listening to, is Hal Smith. He's the first wit. Then there's Paul Herlinger, and now there's Andrei Stoica, who's the one in this episode. But Hal Smith was the original owl in Winnie the Pooh.
Yep. There you go. No, I mean, it's awesome. It's
that's
that was
incredible.
one of the best things I learned about Odyssey as a result of making this show.
That's
I
amazing.
loved Winnie the Pooh.
And they make, like, the Odyssey sports teams is the Odyssey Owl.
That's
Owls,
beautiful.
Like, in remembrance of
Hal Smith.
Well, and right now it also applies to Andre, but yeah.
That's beautiful. That's so touching.
I don't have that much of like Winnie the Pooh nostalgia, so this
Dude.
didn't like hit me as hard as news. But I'm glad you guys are impacted by this.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's just some fun. I'm a feeler, I got lots of feelings.
Are you implying I don't have feelings, Andrew?
No, I'm implying that you have a much more moderate experience of your feelings than I do.
Probably.
Tapered.
Well said.
Ouch. I should stop having friends on the show. Gives them permission to be mean to me.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
This is what the people want. This is what the Chalk Squad have been waiting to hear. All these...
Let's talk about how Dylan copes with his feelings.
Right. Well, look, I want to get into your own Christmas experiences, both of you, but I feel like that's maybe best explored throughout the episode, rather than off the top.
Yeah.
So I think at this point I'm gonna roll the promo, and then we can actually get into the meat of this. But
Wonderful.
Rest assured, there will be more anecdote.
Next time on Adventures in Odyssey,
Everybody has Christmas traditions they enjoy at home. Why not do some of them here at Wits End?
but will all the planning result in Yuletide chaos?
This whole idea seems to be getting bigger by the minute.
I think it was a little off in my potpourri mix.
Let's hurry before everyone's asphyxiated.
Spend your Christmas with us on Adventures in Odyssey.
Yuletide chaos.
Exactly. Also, in this show for 8 to 12-year-olds, just yelling the word asphyxiation like they understand.
I have to say, 12-year-old Breanna would have loved that.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be like,
Oh,
I'd
no.
be like, oh, vocabulary.
This is gonna
yes,
get
please.
me praise from adults later.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
my entire personality.
Well, there you go. See, it's not just faith that they're trying to teach through this show. It's also
Yes.
vocabulary.
Vocab words. Actually, that's a poignant. There's the succumb bit with the crossword puzzle later. So
Sure.
there's a lot of really good vocab words in this episode.
I don't think that one's very well. Like, I don't think they totally land the plane on the succumb thing, but we can get to it later.
Okay.
So we start out. We've got the Parker family, who, to recap, we've got David and Eva are the parents, and then the children in oldest to youngest are Olivia, then Matthew, and then Camilla.
I didn't
Yeah,
follow that
right,
in the episode. That's very
exactly.
helpful.
It's-
Thank you.
It's really not made clear, and I had to like check the notes a couple times to be like, okay, who is who? So we've got Lucia, who is Eva's mom. shout out to Odyssey's biracial family. We do stan.
We do stand.
But like and then we also have Connie Witt and Eugene, staple characters we all can assume,
Even
whatever.
I knew them.
Right. And then weirdly, Emily's hanging out with them.
Yeah, because of course she is.
What's her deal?
I think
I had some
Christina
questions about
Pacelli
her
was
deal.
owed
Yeah.
money.
So Emily is Matthew's age.
Okay.
So the two of them are friends.
How old
they have
is
an
that?
amateur detective agency. They are in middle school.
At this point, I think they might be younger.
Okay, maybe late elementary.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then Emily's older brother is Barrett, who we hear referenced, but he gets sick. He was
Yes.
supposed to be playing Joseph.
Got it.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's not. The episode doesn't do you a ton of favors if you aren't familiar with these characters, which
Yeah.
also, like, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I am just like, okay, so we've got, like, Wit, two people who work for Wit, and then a child who's just there and has no connection to any of them.
Yeah. I just instantly accepted. Cool. Yeah, this is fine.
Right,
just
exactly.
hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, normal.
Yeah.
I
normal
hear adult
adults do.
voices and child voices. This is fine.
There's
episode
no red flags.
Really did feel like we're gonna try and do a massive episode, but we also have a budget of how many voice actors we can hire.
Very much so. And then they just stuck John Campbell with all the work of doing the Foley for everything. Which, props to him. Because the Foley in this episode is incredible.
Yeah, but John Campbell does the music, not the Foley.
Oh, who does the Foley?
This episode's post productions by Gap Digital. So
Oh, there you go.
Gap Digital, which is it's Todd Busteed's company, who was previously a producer on Odyssey. Not helpful, but
I love that you know that, though, and I appreciate that
great.
about you.
Yep, it's a good quality. That's what I love. But so the episode begins with Grandma Lucia showing up with 3 suitcases full of stuff, because she is coming to stay with the Parkers for the holidays. And the kids all, I guess, are meeting their grandma for the first time.
It doesn't feel like that a bit.
There's confusion over what to call her in a way that felt really weird.
I don't know. I feel like I've had that experience of even like when I introduce my parents to people, I'm like, these are my parents, and like I don't know what they want to be called.
No, I get that. So it's later
This
on.
is my mom and
Right.
dad.
Later on, they do the thing where they're introducing her to Wit, and that energy is understandable.
Right.
But there is a point at which, like, they say hi to her as grandma, and then she's like, well, call me abuelita, and they're like, which, sorry, everyone, for my Spanish pronunciation, it's gonna be bad. And then they're like, we don't know how to say that. And so she's like, just call me Nana. And I was like, how is this being
not-
established?
How is this better?
But this is a weird thing to establish in like minute 2
Yeah.
with this is their grandmother. Like, hopefully they have some, like, these are not tiny children. Hopefully they have an idea of what to call her. I don't know. Also, and I didn't do, like, I had heard this episode before and heard, like, the previous album and whatnot, and I didn't go back and listen to anything. This is her 3rd episode.
Okay.
So it's not even that they're establishing her as a character on the show.
Huh. So it was just poorly written. That's cool. That's great. Love that.
Also, resident Spanish expert, we've previously called on you.
I don't know. That feels strong.
That
That
I
feels
know
a
it
little
is.
strong.
I love forcing my friends into titles that they haven't earned.
As long as it's clear.
So abuela is grandma, correct?
Yeah.
Is this just like a cuter way of saying
Yeah, it's
that?
a cute. That's
It's like
exactly.
the difference
yeah,
between
it's
like
like
grandma
it's
and
endearing.
granny or whatever
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, technically the suffix ita means like little, but like,
Sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's basically just like a term of endearment.
okay. Yeah. I mean that's what I was assuming, but also it doesn't come back, but I feel like that is how her character is referred to in future episodes, because I definitely think of her as Abuelita. And
yeah,
so
this
it
might not be
made it
consistent.
even weirder that they were like, we're calling her Nana this episode because we don't know how to say.
Yikes.
the
Also, it's
Spanish
not
word.
hard.
Nope, not that
Well, I
hard.
mean,
I
I'm
mean, like, you're not
struggling.
doing great, but you're saying, like, it's recognizable, right? Like, like you could, like, it's letters that make sounds. Like,
abuelita?
abuelita, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. You said it much better.
It's-
You've
it's
got
not-
you got a better tongue for that sort of thing. I can't do it. Can you roll your R's?
No.
Oh. Well, the voice
wish.
actor for Grandma can, because she really goes hard at it.
Oh man. Yeah. So there's this whole. How do we feel about the banter of her having 3 suitcases?
Hold on a second. I don't remember this part from my 2 listens, and so I'm wondering if we had like an issue on my end.
Oh,
That's what I'm a little bit concerned about.
interesting. So where does your episode start?
It starts and they're like when they're introducing her to Wit.
Oh, so you don't have the first scene.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have
Well, 'cause it's
no.
30
I've not
minutes
heard this.
long on the
Oh yeah,
club.
definitely 25 on mine.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if it's a difference between radio and club, and what I sent you was the wrong audio. Well, I feel bad. Great.
I'm just gonna gloss over the
Okay.
first 5 minutes.
It's fine.
great.
Well,
No, tell
so
me
I
more
don't
about
know if
it.
it's-
Tell me
it's-
more about the setup here.
It's probably not going to be the first 5 minutes, though, because likely
It's
they...
little bits and pieces.
Yep.
Fine, we'll get to do this fun process of comparison
I'm
since
so
I listened
sorry.
to something different.
Okay. Oh boy.
It's a game
let's hope
show.
there's let's hope there's no big changes, but oh man, 5 minutes is a difference. So great. I mean, that's basically, there's just a line at which she shows up with 3 suitcases and they're going back and they're like, that's so many suitcases, and Eva chimes in to be like, a woman needs to pack more than a man does.
Yep. So
I
great.
was like, why is that here?
No. Also, I'm pretty sure it's Ava.
Is it? Oh, the very, yes. I should have written. I mean, it's written with an E, but it's
Sure.
pronounced with an A.
I mean, I definitely like in my notes was writing AVA just because of
Yep.
being used to it. But yeah, even
Right. Okay. So
in
we've
Spanish,
got Ava.
EVA is going to be Ava.
Ah, there you go. Yep. Like I said, not the Spanish expert for the show. That is your title, not mine. Okay. Anyways,
To be clear for our listeners, I had 3 years of high school Spanish
and you lived in Mexico
for
for
5 months.
that counts as
I have
like
been to Mexico. That's the extent of
hard disagree. Look, if I'm gonna call Drew our Greek expert,
And he hasn't passed Greek yet.
no, he has.
Oh no, he
has.
passed Greek.
He's
It was-
also
exciting.
passed Hebrew now.
Oh, great.
His semester just ended.
He's thriving.
Shout out to Drew.
Shout out to
I
Drew.
had to find out this.
Drew
way.
can take all the language expert. Drew can just take the title of language expert. I don't need a title. I'm good.
His English abilities are.
That's fine. I'll be the English expert
you
then.
go.
I'll do
Okay,
that.
okay.
I'll do that. I'll take that one.
Look,
Yes.
you
I
are
do
my-
speak English. Thank you, everyone, for noticing.
I'm actually bilingual.
Look, you're my phone a friend for Spanish questions.
Sure.
though.
Sure.
So then you can be our Spanish expert. Not a Spanish expert, but the best the show has.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
We set the bar low.
Until you're usurped.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I would love to
Yeah.
replace
You
you
guys
with
need
someone.
more. Yeah.
But at this
You guys
point,
need to get out more.
Okay.
Amen.
So we'll jump ahead to Brianna's first scene, in which Whit, Connie, Eugene, and Emily have finished decorating the tree.
Yeah,
yes.
and they are looking at it, and it's like, oh, it kind of looks different this year. Like, what's going on? And then they go to light it up, and it's presumably some sort of like light show. I don't know what's going on, but it's been taken to it's been supersized for this year to avoid being boring or yawn-inducing, as Eugene said.
Yeah. It's blinded Connie, I believe.
Bit dramatic, but we don't know what kind of lights they used.
My mental image for this was in college we were only allowed to have one strand of lights because of fire hazard, so we bought a 100-foot strand of lights.
Letter of the law, not the spirit of the law kind of thing over here.
Really leaning into it. That's what you do at Bible college.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come
Strong
on now.
Bible college energy. But those lights that we purchased off Amazon had like a little remote, and you could like set them to be like nice, gentle twinkle, or you could like literally set them to be like strobe lights. And these are the lights that I am imagining on this tree.
Yeah. Just so many, and the tree's got to be huge, right? Because it's wit's end.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's God's
why,
tree.
why not? Yeah, and then so we've got the Parkers show up with their grandma, and they get to all bask in the glory of Eugene's crazy light show. And then there's this debate over like Wit's decorations not being that good.
Yeah. There's so
Connie
much
refers
shade
to them
thrown.
as functional.
very functional.
What do you
Call me
picture for
cerebral.
functional Christmas decorations? What's a
Probably
functional
what
Christmas
I
decor?
would do.
You don't
Like-
buy stockings, you just use socks.
Yes. Good.
There you go. That's about it.
No, I feel like functional is just like we didn't go overboard. We just kind of went like baseline. Like
Yeah.
we put it up a tree. It's got lights. Then there's ornaments and there's maybe an angel on the top, and then we just move on.
Okay, so no poinsettias, no garland. That's not baseline for you? Because for me, that's baseline.
I don't know. Should that be my baseline? That's not my baseline.
Okay,
But
there you go.
this is not to say my mom does not do a very good job decorating for Christmas.
Excellent job.
Your mom does a good job decorating always.
But I have not. I did not acquire her passion for it.
I'm so sorry.
So, it's fine. We have a Christmas tree at my apartment. My roommate put it up with his girlfriend, and I did nothing.
I was really proud when I came over and saw it. Not of you.
Right.
No. Just that there was
But
a
of the
Christmas
apartment.
I was really glad. Yeah.
Proud in the abstract. Yeah. It did feel nice that it went up, but I'm also like, I don't know, the work of putting up a tree to then take it down like a few weeks later, especially like, is probably not worth it to me.
I mean, you make your bed.
Only because like people are over.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Just wanted to get
To
that
be
on record.
clear, the bed is made just because we are recording in the bedroom.
I'm honored.
I don't make it for Andrew most of the time.
Wow. Just
Sometimes
for
I
me.
make it for you.
The one time I came in and Andrew was making my bed, and that was like, okay, I should probably make my bed now.
That feels really good. I
Least
love that, Andrew.
The one day a week that we record.
No, it wasn't like a shot at you. You just weren't here yet, and I felt bad, so I made it for you.
Yeah, I know, but I did see it and go, okay, I guess I can do better.
Shame.
I felt the shame.
I didn't mean to shame. I only wanted to love you, Dylan.
Yeah. The other thing that Eugene has done is made the bell for the door play a little bit of Carol of the Bells,
Yes.
which is great energy.
Yay,
Yeah.
Eugene. Good job.
If I had a doorbell where you could do that, I would.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
that
great.
was excellent.
Also, like probably top 10 Christmas song, Carol of the Bells. Like it's
Yeah, no, I'm
really-
okay with that take.
all versions. The John Williams choral version, great. Just your traditional instrumental, also great. The dubstep version that a guy I knew in middle school made, fantastic.
Love that.
You know?
Wait, didn't Trans-Siberian Orchestra do that?
Trans-Siberian Orchestra has a good version for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
Always my favorite Christmas song to hear in concert.
Ah.
Yeah, it's one that I'm just like, I love hearing it out and about. Like it feels like Christmas.
Okay, does any top Christmas songs? Do you have one that's like immediately comes to your mind? Hymns are included in this.
I was gonna say I'm partial to a Christmas hymn. Like
Yeah,
Come Thou
yeah,
Long
oh, yeah.
Expected Jesus rules.
Oh Holy Night will always be my go-to for just like if I have to give an answer. I have a lot of affection for Joy to the World.
Yeah.
Me too.
But and then I start becoming like obnoxious and subversive and like, actually, I really like the Killers' Don't Shoot Me Santa. That counts as
It's great
right.
Christmas song.
It is great, but but I don't like being that guy.
That's fair.
As you shouldn't.
Family Force 5 has an excellent cover of Carol of the Bells as well.
They do. It's fun. It's not on Spotify, and that's upsetting.
It's enraging
that they don't have that Christmas album on Spotify. Whatever you got to do to get the rights. Come on, people.
Yeah, seriously. I think for me, it's probably O Come, O Come Emmanuel. That's a
also a good one.
that one's up there. Or
I don't know what you would say that I'd be like, I don't know, not so good. Bad take.
Lukewarm hymn.
I mean, like, if I said Jingle Bells, you'd be
Yeah,
disappointed.
okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, you
there
found
are
it.
there are options for sure that I would.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
I could right.
Yeah, that's not good.
A movie.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. I think is that the worst option.
Santa Baby is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like that would
yeah.
if you said that I'd be like
yuck. Or Baby It's Cold Outside. I mean, that's slightly better
I have
than
like
Santa
a weird
Baby.
affection for it.
No, I do like it.
It's
a good
so
song.
well performed.
It's just a problem.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's problematic, but it's
yeah.
also kind of a good song.
No, yeah, it exists in the gray, as many things do.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, but top Christmas movie?
White Christmas.
White Christmas?
I don't have Christmas specials like Charlie Brown's Christmas. If I can
I'm okay with that.
count that, I'll count
Yeah,
that.
go.
If it's got to be a feature length movie, I'm going It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
A movie at which listeners to this show will have heard my journey with.
Yeah.
Because I had not listened to it before. I'd listened to it as part of doing this podcast. So
You actually
go
watched
back.
it as well.
That's what
Yes,
I was wondering.
I watched it as part of doing this podcast. Go listen to our It's a Pokenberry Christmas coverage if you want to hear me get very
I did not
emotional
watch
about
it for
It's a
part
Wonderful
1,
Life.
and I did watch it for part 2.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I don't know, Andrew. What do you have?
Muppet Christmas Carol, hands down.
Never seen it.
Me neither.
I'm leaving now. You guys can finish this episode without me.
Have fun, buddy. I love the visual bit for listening.
Yeah, no, I
Absolutely
appreciated
Well,
it.
they can hear my headphones slam.
Not if I edit it out, which I will.
Man.
That's not
no
good Foley
swiping.
work, buddy. You're no Gap Digital.
Hey, man. How dare I suggest something like that? No, Muppet Christmas Carol, and Michael Caine plays Scrooge. I think it's the
I know all about it.
best adaptation of the Christmas Carol. Jim
That's
Henson's
what everyone
last
says.
puppet movie. Last Muppet movie. Yeah. 10 out of 10. If I needed to give like a 15-minute impromptu like academic argument like on a plane to save somebody's life or something, I would state that the Muppet Christmas Carol is the best Christmas movie.
Okay. Well, if maybe we'll save that for the bonus show.
There you go.
Just put you on the spot.
Yep.
Okay. I don't even know where we are, but that's good. That's how these episodes should be.
So we're talking about all of the Christmas traditions, right?
Right.
We're in front of the tree saying it was, this is too
yes.
much, it's blinding, and they're like, what do you do for Christmas? And some psychopaths suggest that they build giant gingerbread houses.
So
That wasn't in mine.
Wait, what?
Oh, you
They
don't have
talk
the
about gingerbread houses later, but that wasn't there.
Oh.
No!
Tell me
This is
more.
so to fill you in,
There's a lot of gingerbread talk in
There's
this.
a lot of gingerbread talk for sure. We'll get to it.
They chime in with everyone's like, we should do our own Christmas traditions to
Yes.
and bring those to its end to make it better. And for some reason, Emily is like, my Christmas tradition is that we would make gingerbread houses and then hide gifts in the gingerbread houses, and you would have to find the gifts in the gingerbread houses. And then Connie goes, oh, that's interesting. My family built a huge gingerbread house and put gifts in that, and then those gifts would be used in a white elephant exchange.
That was there. I just forgot it. There's going to be a lot of this during the
fine.
show of me being like, I do recall that. I think I
it's all my
didn't track
fault.
with the fact that it was like a giant gingerbread house. I was thinking they have a bunch of little ones and there's just little things hidden in it.
Right, which that was Emily's thing, and
Okay.
then Connie's thing. But I'm like,
That's what I was confused about. Got it.
I don't understand the...
It's like a Great British Bake Off bake. I've seen
Yeah,
that.
sure. Those giant
Gingerbread,
cakes, but structurally, that's
Yeah.
gotta be what are you using as your there's no way they're using your
gingerbread.
normal royal icing.
No.
What I don't get is that we've got, hey everybody, what are your Christmas traditions? And 2 people come back with, we hide stuff in gingerbread houses, which is something I've never heard of before.
No way.
And then the other person comes back with Los Posados.
Las Posadas.
Thank you. And
Los.
Yikes.
I love going to Los Angeles.
that's a good trick. Thank you.
Happy to help.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for my Spanish. I should write it out phonetically. I should have done that.
Spanish is a phonetic language.
But
It's a phonetic language. Like, look at the words Las Posadas, and it's like,
yeah.
there's no way you're going to do that
you just have to
differently.
know
Las, I would write with an A.
Yeah.
It has an A. Or
What?
Is it Los Posadas?
Maybe I wrote
Am
it.
I doing this wrong?
No, I could have written it wrong.
We have to find this out because I'm going to be really upset.
Wait, but Los Angeles is with an A.
Yes. Los
Oh.
Angeles.
Which was your trick for me to remember it.
Well, no, wait.
Los Angeles, yeah.
Sure, but that's because Americans, like, if...
Wait, yeah, Los Angeles is with an O.
Yes,
Las
I'm
Vegas
like,
is with
you had
an
me
A.
questioning that for a second, like, for real in my real life, being like, wait a second, how do you spell Los Angeles? But yeah, but that's just because we've
Okay, no, it
Americanized.
is Las Posadas. They're
Yeah,
both A's.
okay.
I wrote it.
I was gonna say, it definitely, like, if you wanted to say Los Angeles in Spanish, it would be Los Angeles. Like,
Yeah,
it's not...
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Not even that. I said that badly, but it's fine.
Okay. So yeah,
Los
I wrote it
Angeles.
wrong in my thing. Look, I'm just going to start pointing at people when it gets to the Spanish stuff.
That'll be fun.
Don't point at me, please. I'll try.
Yeah.
And you don't want to hear that.
Once again, I am so sorry to everyone listening.
In
I
advance,
do
me
feel
too.
Bad. Just the weirdness of being like, okay, we're going to pick 3 Christmas traditions. 2 of them are we hide stuff in gingerbread houses.
Which is not
What?
real. No one does this. It's not real.
Like, is honestly
Tweet at Dylan and Andrew if you
part of
hide
the tradition.
things.
Are they trying to start a holiday?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
No, this
if
was
I was a writer on this
Focus
show,
wants
that's what
this
my
to
goal would be.
To be a thing that families do from here on out, and that they can point back to and be like, I created this idea.
It feels
What are
very
your
like
family's
Easter.
traditions for Christmas, and why are they building gingerbread houses for gift storage?
Yeah. Also, like, right, it forces you to disassemble the gingerbread house?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean,
And I mean, or buy absurdly small gifts and like all of that. Like, how are so many logistical
makes no
problems of trying to put gifts inside of a gingerbread house?
Do you guys have gingerbread house, like, tradition?
yes, we recently changed. We always used to get like 5 little gingerbread houses, and the 4 kids and my mother would make them, and then my dad would hassle us about how he didn't get to have one because they came in sets of 5. I have 3 siblings. And then if we were like, oh, do you want to do it? He would be like, no. He didn't actually want to do it. But last year we actually shifted away from that and did sugar cookies with like the royal icing flooding and all of that. And I'm not sure.
The royal icing
Yeah,
flooding?
that's what it's called when you flood the cookie. You like cut like it's.
Yeah, like
You should watch more baking shows, Dylan.
Yeah.
What
It's
is-
like flood. So flooding is when you have the icing and you like basically like outline it and then fill it in, and then if you like do basically like a wet on wet where you have like different colors and you do it before it dries, and then it dries hard. And so flooding is basically that technique where it like will be flat even though you've used different colors and different layers.
Oh, okay.
And so as long
I
as you
can
do it
picture
fast
that
enough
kind of
before
cookie.
it dries. Yeah,
Sure.
you know, yeah. That's what like the
Like
sharks
the
I made
sharks
for
you made
Adam.
for past and future guest Adam Deckard.
Yes, those.
I love having all my friends on this podcast, so I can just refer to them as guests. It's great. So eventually, you'll be able to figure that. Eventually, you will know everyone in my life, listener. The way this is trending.
you already know most of my family, so
It's true. It's true. Shout out to every one of Andrew's siblings who have been a guest.
whoop.
Yeah, but the
Waiting
thing
on you, Dad.
the thing I will say about the sugar cookie tradition that has happened for 1 year and will happen this year. It will happen this year, so that's 2 years. So 2 years makes a tradition. 2 is a pattern. The thing I'll say about it is the reason we shifted towards that has to do with something that comes up later in this episode when one of the kids, I don't know which one, is complaining about how they want to eat the gingerbread house. Y'all eat your gingerbread houses?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, what?
You do? Do you like it?
No.
Okay. That's what I'm looking
No.
for.
Okay, wait. I want to hear your gingerbread house
No,
story.
Yeah.
we just get one like medium-sized gingerbread house, and we typically kit situation, and we all decorate it together, or whoever's home when it is purchased decorates it, and then over the course of like Christmas week or so, we snack on it and pick off all the candy, and then when there's no candy left, you can like break it up and use it in like tea and stuff as like a little tea biscuit. Yeah, no, it's nice.
Gotcha. So my gingerbread house experience is so different than everyone else's, apparently. I didn't even know until extremely recently that gingerbread house kits existed.
What?
That was just like not a thing that I was aware of. The gingerbread
bless
house.
Katrina.
I was going to say, this checks out. Yeah.
So I had a tradition where my mother and my siblings and I would go over with two of my mom's friends and her children, and we would make gingerbread houses out of graham crackers and like an icing that she made, but the icing was made of egg whites. Like this was not a
like a
thing
meringue
to, but this was not.
Well, you can put egg whites in, like, if you want to make a royal icing.
Oh, okay.
Like, it depends on, you need some type of thickening agent. Anyway.
This was not a gingerbread. Like I've never eaten a gingerbread house because this was not a gingerbread house that would taste good. Mm-hmm. The point
They don't.
was like,
They don't anyway.
do you not like gingerbread?
Gingerbread, like, I'll have, like, a ginger snap, but, like,
What about like a gingerbread man?
it's fine.
Oh no, see, this is where we disagree. I love gingerbread.
Yeah, gingerbread's great. Sorry, you're outnumbered.
But I've never had a gingerbread house that was
Gingerbread houses are, like, really hard.
And stale.
And that's the problem. Yes, and very stale by the time you're
Right.
eating them, right?
which makes sense. But yeah, so we never had like edible gingerbread houses, but we would construct the houses ourselves, and we would have this icing that was not tasty because it was not sweetened in any way. It was just glue.
Oh, wait. So egg whites and what else is in it?
I don't know, stuff to make it white. Like some sort of I don't know if I truly don't know.
So the thing that like usually makes like that type of, so we would always need more icing than they give you in the kit because that's we want it to actually be structurally sound.
And maybe it was sweet and I didn't know, but I was told like we could not eat the icing.
Probably because there was raw eggs in it,
Right.
Not because it wasn't like it probably was powdered sugar. Like that's usually the thing that makes it sticky and hold things together.
Then egg white,
gonna
powdered
say,
sugar.
I was like, what are you putting in it?
violently.
Look, I was
What is
not
making it
involved in this.
sticky?
Anyways, look, this tradition died years ago
Sad.
because it was with because it was like a or it was like with like my mom's friends and like, you know, my like family friends as a kid and whatnot, and that just like was not gonna continue.
You and your brothers could get together and make little graham cracker houses.
No, but like, so here's the thing: is so on my mom's side, we do gingerbread like men, and they have my if we go over there for cookie baking, there's a massive gingerbread man like cutout thing, and then you all get to decorate a gingerbread man.
Yeah.
And so I've done that for years, and I hadn't for a while, and then it worked out in my schedule that I could be there this year, and so I made a gingerbread fox.
Aww.
Yeah, very good.
I love that.
So no gingerbread houses, but gingerbread. Well,
the graham cracker houses absolutely
right.
count.
Counts
Like
as-
that's what we always did. Like if we were having like a Christmas party at school or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like the homemade icing and the graham crackers and milk cartons.
So my mom and the two other moms that, you know, did this whole thing were all teachers.
Sure. Yeah, checks out.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I can connect those dots.
I couldn't until just now. So, right. Las Posadas. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine.
Better
Okay.
than it was.
We've got that. It's a pageant where people, as it's explained in the episode, it's a pageant where we've got people who dress up as Mary and Joseph, and they go house to house, and none of the houses let them in, and then they let them into the last one, and then there's a party.
That's a very excellent SparkNotes version of a very culturally rich holiday.
The only context I have for this holiday is this episode of Adventures in Odyssey, which I have probably heard twice in my life.
That's fair. I can't
So-
say that I have a ton more of that than it. Probably just from other assorted media where they borrow this tradition and do it, but yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was anyone from Mexico or, even anywhere in Latin America involved in the making of this episode?
So I tried to find that out. None of the 3 credited writers are themselves like Latinx, so I don't know. The voice actor playing Lucia is. So there's at least
something.
that. And I didn't actually check about Ava, but maybe?
Okay.
So, we're, not
right.
entirely, but yes, I don't know what because that was the thing. When I saw there were 3 credited writers, I was like, oh, like 2 of them are standard Odyssey writers, and the third was one I didn't recognize. And I was like, oh, maybe he is a person with some sort of background that is like applicable to what they're going for in this episode. And the answer is no.
Well,
So,
Thanks, Focus.
yeah. Hopes
Yeah.
raised only to be dashed.
yeah. So, right, who knows? They might have only gotten the Cliff Notes of this holiday as well.
Right.
Maybe they read the Wikipedia article, which is more than I did, to be fair.
That's exactly what I did.
Oh, okay. Okay, tell me more. Fill in the gaps.
That's all I've got. I skimmed the Wikipedia article.
And anything I missed?
I
or
mean,
any
like-
other relevant info?
It's a tradition that takes place across Latin America, and so there's a number of different regional varieties. I did see a couple sources indicating that sometimes Mary and Joseph would sing at each house they stopped at.
Oh, okay.
Which was
okay.
not in this episode.
Sure.
Bummer.
Missed opportunity.
Go to bed.
But overall, based on my bare bones skim, it seems they got the bare bones correct.
Okay.
More or less.
Sure.
We'll take it.
At a very top level. Again, my familiarity with this tradition is skimming a Wikipedia article.
Right.
Tentatively,
None of us
to
are
be
the
clear,
people
Not
to be
horrible.
None of us are the person to be speaking to this. If you are that person, write to us at wadfamchalkpod@gmail.com.
Genuinely would love to know.
Yeah, truly. I
I love some good, international Christmas traditions.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other thing I saw is that sometimes on the last house you stop at. Oh, and this is the other thing. It is it is over the course of, I think it's 9 days from the 16th to the 24th. So they
okay.
do it every day.
wow.
And then at the last house they stop, they come in, they pray, they read scripture, they sing songs. Which was interesting as a missed opportunity for Odyssey to include more spiritual content.
They really don't seem concerned with that.
Yeah, no. No, and then
Very
the
concerned
last night on Christmas Eve, they'll do a full mass.
Oh, okay.
Love.
There you go.
Love a good mass.
So it is 2 weeks until Christmas, and there's concern over how they're going to be able to pull all this off. Connie takes charge and is like, I'm going to organize everything.
Which I figured they were going to have blow up in her face way more than they did.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, so this episode's about Connie biting off more than she can chew.
As
the whole
many
thing goes
episodes
up
are.
in flames. And then, they all end up at wit's end being like, it's actually better if we just sit around and talk about Jesus instead. Which would have been fine. But this is definitely slightly different than that, and it was kind of what I was alluding to off the top, where I don't know how I feel about this episode.
Yeah, it's interesting. That was exactly where I was expecting it to go, and then it kept being there's minor things, our Joseph is sick, what's his face shows up in jeans. It's this is fine. This is kids having fun. This is great. Everybody's having a good time.
Well, and little bad things happen, the donkey won't move and stuff like that, and I kept expecting
The problem
it
is solved instantly.
to bubble over, and it never did.
Right, yeah. I made a note at one point of oh, this is going to be an everything goes wrong kind of thing. And it's not, stuff keeps going wrong, but none of it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, the characters don't seem to be oh, yes, none of it matters. It doesn't seem to affect them one way or the other. Yes. It just seems like these are things that are happening around them and we're being told them, but nobody actually is there's no impact.
Yes.
Positive or negative.
For Ava Parker.
Correct.
Which, that is a very interesting subplot of this episode.
Yeah. So do you get the crossword scene?
No. No. You guys were talking about that crossword earlier, and I was like, are we?
So we come in on Ava doing the crossword puzzle in the morning, and then Lucia comes in and is like and she's like talking to herself about like how great it is to just have some time to kick back and relax and do this crossword. It's one of like the few joys I have in life kind of deal.
Ava is?
Yes.
Got it.
And then Lucia shows up and is like, well, we need to go shopping. We've got all this stuff to do. We've got all of these ingredients to pick up for food, all of this stuff. We've got a nail date. We're taking all the girls in the family to go get their nails done. Like, I've arranged all this, but I can't drive. You've got to do that. And so Ava gets to go and do all this. And there's this weird moment where Lucia accuses, like, kind of harshly towards Ava, pushes her on like not carrying on any of their family traditions.
Yeah, and then and then Ava says like, "Oh, don't like we don't need to have this argument again or whatever." So I don't know if that's discussed in one of her previous episodes.
Or
I
one
would
of
be
her future ones. I don't know.
I would be interested in listening to that episode, and by that I mean I'd be very scared to listen to that episode.
That's very helpful though, because I feel like with this whole subplot on the version of this episode that I listened to, I was like very interested in like the tension that seemed to be there because it wasn't really set up at all. And then, in the version I listened to, it ends up getting resolved without anyone ever vocalizing that there was a problem. I was
sure.
Spoilers, Lucia comes and apologizes to Ava, and Ava, like, in the version I listened to, had never vocalized to Lucia that there was an issue.
Gotcha. She doesn't, to be clear.
Yeah.
Like, it still exists as her frustration. She kind of vocalizes it to
Her husband.
Yes, I have
David
that.
later. Okay. But yeah, so it all is just kind of mounting under the surface.
Yes,
like
okay.
we are supposed to understand as the audience that Ava's struggling in this way, but it's not communicated to Lucia.
Great. Okay. Well, and I think that is important and relevant too, in that like Lucia is then able to pick up on that and come back around to it without her ending up saying anything. Like, I do think that's an important thing to note.
Yeah.
The conversation between Ava and David about everything, where David says like, "Oh, you can say no." I was like, wow, I'm very surprised at this take. Also, kind of a jerk thing to like. Not the time, I guess. I don't know, but I thought that it was very interesting to hear Odyssey take like a almost secular self-preservation kind of philosophy where it's like you don't want to overextend yourself, which is something that I've heard mixed opinions about within like the Christian faith.
Yeah, I don't know that it's, but yeah, it is. I don't know. It is self-care in a way that's not often preached.
Yeah, exactly. That's I think what I'm referring to.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's an interesting scene because it almost feels, I don't know. Yeah, David does feel like he's coming in a little harsh at moments,
Yeah,
where he says like,
so blunt.
you don't have to let your mother's chaos become your own, and she's like, well, I don't really have an option right now. Like, there are people coming over here.
You
like,
could help, David.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Hey,
know,
David.
you don't have to be worried just because you have social anxiety. Like,
Sure.
it's kind of what it feels like.
But
You're
I
like,
did
wow.
appreciate the like permission to say no, because I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
feel like
Oh, yeah.
like I don't know. I thought that was useful in that it would be. I thought at that point I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be the point of the subplot, is like she learns to like take a
Say
step,
no,
like
yeah.
to say no and like
Set
that.
healthy personal boundaries.
yeah. But that never happened either.
Nope.
No.
No decisions made.
Would also like to underline that, right, in addition to not necessarily having writers with the same cultural background talking about this, all the writers are men.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Not entirely a given for Odyssey, but also most
Very
of the
Hey,
time.
David, where are you though? You don't have to be worried. Why don't you just not be worried?
Exactly.
I'll just tell you not to do the thing.
Yeah. That works great.
Yeah, yeah, but the other interesting thing that comes from that exchange between Ava and David is she brings up that Lucia wouldn't know what to do with peace and quiet, which was a line that, like, I don't know, struck me in an interesting way.
No, it was like another surprising left hook from this episode where I was like, I'm surprised to hear Odyssey making that comment. Not that it's inappropriate or bad or anything, just it's not the kind of morals and like relationship dynamic that you typically see represented.
Well, right, it's this whole thing of like the episode is coming in and being like all of these people are coming at things from a slightly different angle. And we're not really going to do anything with that other than present it to you.
Yes.
It's actually, maybe I love this episode.
Turns out. Yeah, it was interesting. Like, there was part of that exchange where I was like, oh, is Lucia going to be like the villain of this episode? I'm going to be like, I was like, I don't want to.
Please,
like,
no.
No, this sucks. But then she wasn't. Like, she really, like, it really was like, yeah, I don't know. I really appreciated Lucia's agency and also caring for Ava, like, towards the end being like, hey, I recognize that this has been chaos for you.
Did you get the scene with Ava and Wit at the end? Or
Nope.
sorry, not Ava and Wit, Lucia and Wit?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Or Lucia and Wit?
Yeah.
No.
We'll get to that later.
Okay, cool.
The
Great.
sexual tension.
Oh, no!
Yeah, it's
Oh,
there.
no!
It's not intentional,
No, I don't think
but
it's
it is.
intentional.
It is. It's strong.
They're standing next to each other at midnight doing dishes.
Cleaning up.
Yeah.
Talking about
the two old
peace.
people.
Yeah. The piece of, like, after the chaos of a party.
Yep.
It's pretty steamy, and then church bells go off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so glad I didn't listen to that.
It's kind of lovely.
No, it's really actually like a very sweet moment. And I was, again,
That's great.
surprised to have it in this
No,
episode.
that's great. Yeah, that's a real out of left field.
I feel like all the ways that this episode succeeded were on accident.
So it seems like the edited for radio version that you listen to is way less focused on the personal and more on all the hubbub.
There's a lot of hubbub for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, once again, what is the point of this episode?
Yeah.
We don't know.
So we've got this donkey named Jake who they only have until 7, which is another part
so
of this
good.
whole thing.
I love that the donkey is like, sorry, all the donkey places are sold out. It's Christmas, man. Like, what
Yeah.
you gonna do? That was
We got
great.
a second-rate donkey.
You know, all the places you rent donkeys from, like, well, they're all booked.
Yep. I don't even know where I would go to rent a donkey.
I mean,
I just asked what the Amish neighbors.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'd ask around.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's got a donkey.
There's so many donkeys, at least in Lancaster.
Oh man.
Above average.
Above average. I feel like I don't see that
Above
many
average
donkeys.
numbers of
But
donkeys.
sure, if you took the national average by county, probably we're in the upper half.
Maybe.
But,
yeah.
like-
Upper half for sure.
55th
know.
percentile, perhaps.
Anyway, and then there's also, so we've got the donkey named Jake. He's got to get back to the place by 7. That's being used for that Mary and Joseph are going to ride across Odyssey. Or I guess Mary's going to ride and Joseph's going to walk next to. And then Eugene has designed farm smells for Wits End so that when they arrive, it'll smell like a real farm. And Emily is designing a huge gingerbread house that then is going to have 3 gifts that when you find, you get to be contestants on a game show about a white elephant.
Let's make a white elephant deal.
Yeah.
Which is
Not.
A kind of funny joke.
Well, no, it's not, but it's let's make a deal, and they just shoved white elephant into the middle.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing as like when we talked about in the episode with Andrew Taven where we talked about guilt trip Jeopardy, which is what if we just took an existing thing and put another word there? Like if this was a pun or a fun twist, it would be one thing, but it's like, let's make a deal, but we're going to do it as like a white elephant exchange. What should we call it? let's make a white elephant deal. Perfect. No notes. Like, it's a placeholder title that then made the actual
Poaching
episode.
endangered species.
Can we talk about what the gifts were in the gingerbread house?
Yes.
Please do. Please do.
Because that made me really happy. It was, one of them was a clip-on earring.
So the clip-on earring was what was one of the things, or was something?
It was unclear. So she was like, "Yeah, you're a contestant now," but she was also like, "Oh, I knew I dropped that somewhere." It was like completely unclear.
Was it her trying to play off that wasn't one of the? I couldn't figure it out.
No idea.
Also,
It was not addressed in the 30-minute or 25.
Is it just me, or does it feel very, very conservative Christian to have to underline that it is a clip-on earring?
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
Like, is that hey, no one will get stabbed trying to find this thing? Or is that we're not entirely comfortable with the concept of piercings and feel like we need to highlight that children shouldn't necessarily get piercings, this is just a clip-on earring?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's Connie's as well. So, I mean, Connie could... canonically wears earrings all the time.
Well, but this is the reveal of this episode, is that they're all clip-ons.
They've been clip-ons this whole time.
So what the other things? It's a toe ring.
The toe. Don't remember what the second one was, but
Matthew
the toe ring
finds
made me
something,
laugh.
and the toe ring is the
that
third.
made me really happy. I don't know why that made me laugh, but I was like, "That's great. I'm
so
so
weird.
glad."
I don't remember what Matthew finds.
I feel like it's like kind of like
it was
garbage,
something innocuous,
like a bottle cap. Or
yeah, it was like
something
something
that.
pointless.
But also, the fact that these are randomly scattered throughout this gingerbread house. On the inside, like, the sound designing is unclear here. Like, are they ripping apart the gingerbread house? Are they, like, doing an I Spy on the outside of it? Connie also apparently has rigged it so that Emily and Matthew...
Oh, I thought that was a joke.
I couldn't tell.
I thought that was a joke.
Is it a meta joke about the fact that these are the only actors they had hired for the episode, and so of course they're finding them?
I'm gonna hope so.
I don't know. Yeah, I hope
really
that's what I'm
hope
going
so.
with.
Okay, so maybe it's not intentionally rigged, but the fact that some of the gifts are from a focus on the family standpoint extremely gendered makes it very funny. Where it's like, what if Matthew found the toe ring?
Matthew doesn't no jewelry for Matthew.
No.
What was it?
I should have listened to it a third time
to figure out what Matthew got. Yeah, I don't remember.
That is okay. Yeah, it's a very interesting like concept that they're doing with this whole like let's make a deal, Wheel of Fortune type situation where they're trading in and giving thrift store values for these white elephant gifts.
Right. So they find those three things in the gingerbread house.
Those are tokens.
Which then unlocks their participation in the game show.
Yes.
Where they are given different gifts. Also, it's not really structured like a white elephant that I've been a part of.
No.
I guess that's them trying to do the game show.
Yes.
But some of the people get a choice and some don't.
It's focus.
The first person has to. So, well, yeah, it was weird, right? So when I've played White Elephant, it was weird because the first gift, she was like, pick one of the two things. But then for the second gift, they were like, no, you don't get the thing she didn't pick. It was something completely separate.
Right. Yes.
Did not make sense.
And then the last person had the choice to take something from a previous person or take something random.
Yes, which is
normal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So, what is it? Oh gosh.
A Sputnik cereal.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is great.
From the 50s.
Right.
Love.
So Camilla gets the socks.
Yep.
Gets Argyle socks.
Also great.
Great. Emily winds up with a cereal box.
Awesome.
Of Soviet like Sputnik cereal.
Like,
it's
rules.
cinnamon.
I want it.
I also do. Look, if there's anybody out there who wants to make us cinnamon Sputnik merch,
do it.
I would be very happy, is all I'm saying.
That's how I would end up with my first merch from your podcast. I would absolutely wear a Cinnamon Sputnik t-shirt. That rules.
There we go. You know, hear that, folks. If you want Breanna to buy merch, you're going to have to create it first.
Space and cereal, my two favorite things.
You have at least one person who will pay for it.
And that's true.
True.
Not anything.
There's a ceiling to how much
Yeah,
you'll
there's
pay.
a ceiling to how much I will pay for your Cinnamon Sputnik t-shirt. I want that to be well established.
Before I'm committing, I've already committed myself to spending money.
Yeah, I was listening through the episode when that came up. I was like, well, this should be the reason to have Breanna on this episode.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
You were already booked at that point, but I was like,
This feels good.
yeah.
This feels right.
Yeah.
Lines up.
Space, cereal.
Vintage.
Vintage.
Yeah.
Thrift store.
These are all also cinnamon.
Yeah.
It's cinnamon time of year.
Yeah. It's always cinnamon time of year.
Ain't that the truth?
Excellent point.
And then Matthew gets an 8-track tape.
Yep, with something rattling around inside.
Right. And so then, right, they all end up with those gifts, and then they open them up, and there's a gift card in Camilla's socks.
For the mall.
How do you not notice a gift card?
$20
in
gift
your
card
socks?
in the socks. I mean, if they're like folded up, they're not because they're used. But like, imagine like socks in packaging,
Yeah, you
where
could
they're like
totally
already
slide.
stiff.
Oh, I
Sure.
Then it makes sense.
I guess.
I'm
I'm skeptical, Odyssey. My suspension of disbelief was broken for a moment.
Emily opens the cereal box, which also, it's a vintage cereal. I guess it was already
know,
opened
why are you
because someone had to
opening
put
it?
something in it. But she opens it to get there's a Soviet figure.
Yeah, the little Russian.
Right, that's right.
The little Russian inside.
And he's got a necklace on.
Yeah.
So did Emily get to keep the toe ring as well? So did she end up with a necklace
Well,
and a toe ring? And then Matthew opens up his 8-track tape, and there's a quarter in there, and he's like, oh, it's just a quarter. And then Eugene from across the room goes, wait, let me see that quarter. And he looks at it, and it is it's an expensive quarter, you know? It's worth a lot of money. It's a silver quarter.
That's like kind of
Worth
a common
north
thing,
of $100.
I feel like it's a very folksy thing to like look through your change to see if any of them have like special years and stuff.
Sure. To be across the room
No,
and someone gets a quarter and to be like, wait, I need to see what this quarter is, and then to look at it and know immediately the value is over $100.
I think there was a part of me that assumed Eugene was in on it. I think that was my assumption. Was like, oh,
Wow, you
Eugene
give
collaborated
him so much
with
more
Wit.
credit, but that's probably the better take. Is it
My
the right
head
one?
canon.
I was gonna
Who
say that he
knows?
was a closeted coin collector.
I mean, yeah, that would also fit.
Yeah. I mean, probably right. Yeah.
And then Wit goes, Connie, as these nice gifts are coming out, she's like, oh, Wit, you're ruining it. Like, these aren't supposed to be nice. Right. And then Wit gets to say...
explains the outer wrapping isn't as valuable as what's inside. And then he gives everyone free ice cream at Wit's End for the next week if they use the special code word.
Which
lot of ice
is
cream.
just the name of the holiday.
Uh-huh.
Uh...
And then we get our lovely final scene where Lucia stays to clean up the kitchen. Yeah. It's earlier. It's before the final, the game show that we have the scene between Ava and Lucia.
Yes.
Which I feel like we do need to hit on. But, so she comes in and says offers to Ava that she is going to run everything tomorrow. Like, thank you for helping out. Also, I feel bad. I will handle it all together. You can just kick back, do a crossword puzzle, drink tea, and enjoy yourself.
Which, love that
Yeah,
for you.
sounds like a good day.
And then, yeah, I don't know. It's like a nice, tender moment between mother and daughter of like, hey, I'm sorry, which is, yeah, that I know you just wanted like this nice relaxing time and I did this. And then she makes a comment or Ava's just kind of like, how do you even do this? Like, I don't understand how you juggle all this stuff. And she says, if I slow down, maybe I'll stop completely.
Yeah, that wasn't in mine. That comment. That's interesting.
It is.
It's a commentary on aging.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it is. But they don't really address it. But they do say...
Yes, they don't really address it. It's just that line.
They do say earlier that her husband's dead, though. That is mentioned.
Correct.
She makes a joke about him
She
being a
does.
donkey and says,
Yes.
God rest his soul.
Did you get that
I
part?
did get that, yes.
Great.
Yeah.
You got the joke about her
Yeah.
dead husband being stubborn.
Yeah.
Good. Very important. But
Yeah, can't cut that.
No,
that
there
has
is-
to.
yeah, and just that subtle like underlying theme, which I wasn't sure what was the moral going to be, so I was constantly looking for like how they're going to tie it together. And they do spend a lot of time about talking about her work ethic and her familial relations and her interactions with her daughter and her grandkids and everything. But
Not in mine.
they don't.
She's like
It's
barely
not until
there.
the very end that she really gets to have like that one-on-one conversation with Wit about like the value of being busy and also the value of taking time to rest and like be present and like focus on yourself as opposed to doing things for other people.
That sounds like something they shouldn't have cut. Like, that sounds like the whole point.
yeah, I'm so sorry.
Feels like that would have been a really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it lands the plane a little bit better in like trying to set up like, this dichotomy of these two. But I think that at the script phase, they should have cut the whole white elephant bit.
Yes.
And just
yeah.
made this truly an episode about the like Parker fam, like center it more on the Parker family, make it more like put the mother-daughter stuff in the forefront, make it involve like the younger generation in that as well, and make it about like the town of Odyssey coming together to celebrate this tradition for this old lady who doesn't have that many left, and like she wanted to be with family but had to like leave her home and the tradition there and make that the center of it.
I mean, yeah, that would be better.
That would be like a nice heartwarming Christmas story.
I was like really noticing, especially my second listen through, how like Lucia is like not present through very much of the episode, right? Like she kind of comes in and is like, oh, this was my like it's her idea. And then after that, I think the only other time in the version I listened to that we even hear from her at all is when she comes and apologizes to Ava. And that's it. And so I was like, it's very interesting, this like dynamic that's centering around these two people. That she's
it's
like
the
not
premise for everything that's happening
Yeah.
in the episode.
But we don't see her driving Las Posadas forward.
Right.
No.
Like,
Connie
she's not
takes it
involved.
over.
Connie is the one who's pushing all of this. The kids are the ones who are excited and doing all of this. Like, it's
She's
not
making
really
a lot
Lucia's
of
fault.
food.
She's not that.
Right, she makes the food,
Yeah.
but that's right. That's kind of it. And
Not
there
in
is
mine. Ava makes the food.
what?
Well, Ava makes the food.
Yes,
Yeah.
but there's a good joke about like when Lucia takes on making the food, she makes a joke about like not being able to trust the other people in the town to do it right.
Which,
Yeah.
yeah, would not trust
They're
anybody
just gonna
in
go
Odyssey
and
to
buy
make-
tortillas rather than make them.
Oh, that's that's not even. Tamales don't have tortillas.
No.
Ow. Well,
They're corn
here's the. I'm very dumb.
No, but in Odyssey they probably would buy tortillas.
Yeah, to make their tamales. Exactly.
with some flour, like bleached flour tortillas. Lukewarm, not fried.
What is a tamale?
Oh, tamales are delicious.
They're so good.
I know,
It's like a corn dough basically, and it's like wrapped in like banana leaves or corn leaves. Traditionally banana leaves, I think, and then like meat or beans or some other type of filling inside, and then you cook it. It's delicious.
nice.
They're
don't
very involved. Like, I did have a
Okay.
reaction when Ava was talking about making tamales. I was like, dang, girl. Like, that's it is a whole ordeal.
Well, yeah. It's like one of those things that you don't make unless you're having a big party.
Yeah.
And so, like, you just, lean into the enormous process that is making a tamale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was in Mexico, we did do like a whole, like, we got a couple moms from the school together and like had a whole day of just making tamales as the like fundraiser for the school that we were like selling tamales.
That's lovely.
It was very nice. I don't know if that's like a tradition, like typical, like stereotypical fundraiser, like the way we would like that, like I grew up
Like
having
the
bake
sale.
sales.
Sure.
But it was a fun time.
Rice
I
Krispie
enjoyed
treats
it.
and brownies or tamales.
Which I feel like the reason that we have bake sales is because it's easy. I'm not sure. I think the reason that tamale fundraisers work is because it's hard.
And good.
It's
And nobody
delicious.
wants to
It's
make
so
them on
good.
their own.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's good. I like that a lot. So a couple things I want to bring up in closing. One, the episodes always have their official theme. The official theme for this one is the true meaning of Christmas.
Sure.
Which is the cop-out. We don't even know
It's a
what
Christmas
the theme
episode.
No, yeah.
But like
Sure.
they so
No true
clearly
meaning.
like that it's they're pulling that from that line that Wit has of I don't hear a lot of traditions about Jesus.
Yeah. None of these involve the birth of Christ. Which, excellent point, Wit. These
Sure.
traditions aren't real.
Yeah,
one of
also
them
no
is.
one does this.
One of them is, but the other two.
Yes.
So the discussion questions for this episode. Like the gang in Odyssey, do we ever get caught up in the holidays and traditions without giving glory to God? Like these are the questions that there's two of them, but I'm like this is the best shot I have at understanding what they were trying for with this.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, certainly. I think that it's very hard to, especially during the Advent season, to like stay consistently present and like on that journey when so much else is going on at the same time. Like Advent starts pretty much like right before finals start for college, so it's like it's great. I get super excited at the beginning, I disappear for 2 weeks, and then I come back in and guiltily catch up on my devotionals the week before Christmas. But you know, I think that yeah, I don't feel like it's worse. Like, I would say that this Christmas I've probably been more meditative about my appreciation of the season and everything, but I really miss a lot of like the festivities and stuff, like the work parties and the you know, the gift exchanges, or like if you go to see movies on Christmas Day, like there's just so much fun stuff that happens around that time. Past and future guest of the show, Nathan Haverstick's birthday is around Christmas, so that's always a highlight for me. So yeah, I don't know. Much like this episode, I have no distinctive choices. I like it both.
I think that this creates a bit of a false dichotomy in the phrasing of the question.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I feel like, well, yes, like I get like the busyness pulling away from like especially like personal devotional time, like that sort of thing. The flip side is like, I think, at least in my own family tradition and whatnot, that like coming together and like it, like
engaging
my
with community.
yeah, just like the way like community works around the holiday, the traditions I have with like extended family, it's all very like centered on the like biblical traditional story of Christmas in a way that feels like it's not taking away from that glory. It's just doing it in a way that's different than how I do it in day to day. And that kind of rocks in its own way.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the point, right?
I would tend to agree. Like, I don't feel like the, like, I don't know, I feel like early 2000s, like, very much like this stuff that's fueling Elf and, like, the whole tension of, like, everyone's, like, you know, going crazy and, like, all the
commercial Black Friday.
Right, correct. All the focus is on not the true spirit of Christmas, but all the commercial stuff and buying and whatever, and that just being like, and that's, I mean, that's always present, but I feel like that's not the tension in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I that's my 2 cents on getting caught up in the holiday traditions. Like it, yeah, I find that time to be beneficial in that manner. But,
yeah, and I do think it is a both and. Like, I think I very much feel what you're saying, Andrew, of like, there's just so much else going on, like end of year things and parties and like needing to like, I don't have all my gifts yet.
hopefully by the time this episode airs, you will.
Man, I hope so. But I also agree with what you're saying, Dylan, in that, like, if you're a person who very closely ties the symbols of Christmas to faith, like, when else are you going to see, like, things like that? Like, even out, like, when you're, like, walking around Walmart and, like, like, there's less of it, but, like, still you might catch a Christmas hymn. Like, when are you going to hear, like, be doing your grocery shopping and hear, like, mild he lays his glory by, born that man no more may die. Like, that rocks to, like, be out and about and hear that. Like, it's one of the, like, I don't know. It's just a place where that can come, like, and you see all these reminders. Like, if you associate all of those things with the birth of Christ, it's like there are just so many reminders around you to point you back toward that.
Yeah.
Well put. The other discussion question is, should we let the stress and pressure around Christmas affect us?
You can't not let things affect you. Well, there is no option to just turn off feelings. That's called dissociation, my friend. And it's ill-advised from most professionals. But I agree in the sense that I do think that it's really valuable to be self-aware because there is so much community like pressure and societal like presuppositions of like what Christmas should look like or what Christmas ought to look like or how I ought to feel in those environments, that like I do think that creates a lot of problems. And I will say for my family, and I'm about to dox all of them because they've been on the show, but like there's been problems at Christmas where there's people have expectations and mom has an expectation and kids have an expectation, and when those aren't met or there's a conflict between the two or something external comes in and shakes everything up, it creates all this drama because there's this there's a certain precedent of like, oh, it's gotta be great and good in this one kind of way.
Yeah, I'm similar. I'm like, yes, the stress and pressure, or like, stress and pressure are not opt-in,
Right.
and so it's kind of but it is very much a know yourself, know your own limitations. Like, some people are going to be able to roll with that way better than others. We even get that in this literal episode. We have the idea that like this is what like
Lucinda loves to do, and
yeah,
is
right.
exhausted by the concept.
Right, Lucia is thrilled by this and fueled by it, and Ava is burnt out as a result. And so it's like, I don't know yourself, be aware of those around you, try to serve well.
Well, and also know your role in the situation,
Yes.
and don't like try to fulfill your role as best you can, but don't take on anybody else's because that's I would say that was the most important thing portrayed from this episode to me, was that kind of people are asking you to do stuff. Do we actually like it? Is this actually good? Whereas I feel like there's a lot of Christian sentiment of like, oh, it's Christmas, of course you've got to, like, it's for Jesus. He couldn't possibly want anything else other than for you to do this. And I did appreciate the small amount of nuance that is included in the episode.
Yeah, well, and I feel like that was what was like Chris's outro at the end, talking about the shepherds and Mary and two different ways to respond to the birth of Christ. There's like the excited, like, we're going to go tell everybody, and then there's Mary who's more reflective. And I thought that was like an interesting way to kind of sum up that dichotomy, to say like the like celebrations and all these things, they're not bad, like they're good. Like, in fact, that's appropriate because the birth of Christ is a big deal and we should be celebrating. And also it's good to like both of these things are good and they don't have to be opposed to each other. Like, you're not doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of what you're doing, you're good. This is fine.
I don't any last thoughts you feel like you got to get out of your system here before we wrap up? I
would like to shout out Gap Digital again for doing what I could never do. No, I do think that the Foley on this episode is genuinely really good. The way that it's conveyed, that they're changing locations, the outside sounds, the inside sounds, the fog machine, like all of that.
I would say, aside from the giant gingerbread house, everything has sounds really good. And the reason that doesn't sound particularly good is because it's a made-up thing that only exists in this, so we don't have any context for what it should sound like.
Yeah.
Like that's the part of the episode that really struggles, but that is not on Gap Digital's.
No,
it's not their fault.
I will say on that part with the gingerbread house, there's I had to go back and listen to it and be like, wait a second. There's like, after Emily finds the last prize, there's like a groan from the kids, and I had to go back and listen and be like, is that because they don't like Emily, or is it because the last prize is gone? And I was like, okay, they didn't cheer for the other kids. I was like, I don't remember noticing like them being all upset about it. I think it's because the last prize was found, but I had a moment of like, oh,
maybe we don't like Emily.
Okay,
it's Emily.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Breanna, is there anything you would like to plug, promote, shout out on this very special episode?
Nope.
Okay.
Christmas is good. I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's probably Christmas as you're listening to this or after.
Merry
because
Christmas.
I think it's coming out on Christmas. I don't know. There's no consistency to when the Christmas episode comes out.
Love that.
Love that.
The general thought is that it's supposed to come out the
Tuesday of Christmas week?
Tuesday of Christmas week is kind of like was the maybe original tradition, although I think Nathan's maybe does it. The first one maybe didn't. I know the one didn't because I decided not to edit and instead build a puzzle that night. You were over for that, Breanna.
Was that the puzzle that I came over for? That's so fun. You know,
it was a Monday night, which is typically my edit night because I procrastinate, and I just went, no, I'm gonna skip editing this tonight. So I think that one did come out on Christmas.
Good. I bought that puzzle for my dad for Christmas that year.
The same one?
No, a different design, but the same company.
Nice.
We can plug them.
Yeah.
Magic Puzzle Company. Cool
Magic
puzzles.
Puzzle Company. Great puzzles. Big fan.
I'm not a puzzle person, but I had fun. So that's something.
That's actually a pretty good
Yeah, I don't like puzzles.
anecdote.
You could have fooled me.
Yeah, well, it was a good puzzle. It was a fun puzzle.
There you go. So you just haven't been doing the right puzzles.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna shout two things out here real quick because Christmas episode and I feel like it. We referenced earlier my obnoxious taste in Christmas music. If you would like more of that, I have a Christmas playlist. I've plugged it years previous. It is maybe the thing I have made that I am most proud of. We are now at over 100 Christmas songs. All of them are unique. So you're not getting two versions of Oh Holy Night, you're getting one. There is a lot of originals, a lot of newer versions of old standards. The general premise is I don't put songs on the playlist unless I know another song by the artist performing it. So I'm not doing like, this is just like the people who we only know for Christmas music. I'm looking at you, Bublé.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm not, it's pretty modern. Last 20 years or so predominantly, although there's a couple of others that squeeze in. And
how many Killers songs are on the playlist?
3.
There it is.
And I'll put the link there. And then also, if you're into weird eclectic Christmas music, there's a really cool project by this guy called Slade Resurrections. He does a Christmas playlist every year that's done like a radio show, so it's all edited as like one track, and you can play through, and you can submit throughout the year what Christmas songs you would like to be added to it, and
that's
it's
very cool.
Very weird. There's like fun interstitial, like people can record stuff and submit it to be like little ad reads or whatever throughout. It's cool. I'll put the link in the description for that as well. It's just because I want more people to know about that. I like Christmas music a lot in between Thanksgiving and New Year's, and then I don't think about it the rest of the time. But for like that month period, it is predominantly what I'm listening to if I'm listening to music.
Yeah.
And most of that is my playlist.
Love that for you. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I would like to once again remind you that The Muppet Christmas Carol is the best Christmas movie to ever come out.
Great.
That'll be my plug. It's
Okay.
a great movie. Dylan, Breanna, go watch it. It's on Disney Plus.
All right. Great. Now, no. Maybe? I don't... Is that the Muppet movie I should start? I've never seen anything Muppets. Is that where I should start?
Yeah, honestly, that's where I started.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's the Muppet movie I have the earliest memories of by a wide margin. Either that or Muppet Treasure Island is also good, but very different vein. I think that Muppet Christmas Carol is the best acted out of the two.
Okay. Well. Breanna, thank you so much for coming on today, for being willing to give up some of your time and lend your Spanish expertise to our humble show here.
Is it Los or Los Angeles?
Yeah, really expert. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you folks for listening. This is our last episode of the year. So we will be off for a little bit and then come back in the new year with something cool. There will probably be a bonus episode, a shorty, where Andrew and I talk to you about what's new and what's coming. But until then, I am Dylan Weaver, and unlike Focus on the Family, I will be wishing you a happy holidays. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Wad Fam Chalk Pod is a presentation of the Lidditz Podcast Co-op. This show is a fan podcast and has no official affiliation with Adventures in Odyssey or Focus on the Family. As such, the copyright is ours under Creative Commons. Follow the podcast at WadFamChalkPod on Twitter and Instagram, or email us at wadfamchalkpod@gmail.com. Grandma's Christmas Visit was hosted by Dylan Weaver and Andrew Sabo, with special guest Breanna Beers. It was edited by Dylan Weaver. And I'm Nathan Haverstick, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.